well, it's either gonna be something like she asked for something crazy and the daughter's like,
oh my god, you won't give me a pony, my life is ruined.
Or, I don't know, sometimes these parents can be a little selfish. I don't know which one it's gonna be. Happy apple picking day! Just a quick reminder for all of our friends, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send it to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. And as always, just remember that we all come from different branches of the apple tree, so while you're talking about your opinions down in the comments, just remember, not everyone has experienced the same things in life that you have. Therefore, they aren't necessarily gonna have your perspectives. There might be things that they don't know, there might be things that you don't know because you haven't experienced some things that other people have lived. The whole point about discussing in the comments is to maybe just share ideas and perspectives. Hey, maybe you haven't thought about it through this lens. Hey, maybe I haven't thought about it through this lens. But at the end of the day, again, because of our different perspectives and experiences, you might just not agree with some people, and that's okay. And they might not agree with you, and that is okay. Not everyone in life is gonna think the same way that you do, and there's no reason to lose sleep over someone on the internet thinking you're wrong. So, with that being said, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking. Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for blowing up on a grieving widow? My 36 female husband Ian, 44 male, is close friends with a woman named Jenna. They've been friends for a long time, way before Ian and I even got together, so I know her fairly well too, but we don't have anything in common and we're not exactly friends. Jenna's wife Laura very sadly and somewhat very suddenly passed in early March of this year. Jenna's been leaning very heavily on Ian for support, which I understand, but she's also been at our house every single day since, and even has been sleeping in our guest room most nights because she doesn't want to be home alone. This wouldn't be a problem to me at all, except she's getting more and more passive aggressive towards me and has become very territorial of Ian. I've tried reminding myself that seeing a happy couple together could be very triggering her for right now, and if I lost Ian, I don't know what I would do. So I've been trying to be very patient, and I'm sure none of this is personal, but my birthday was on Sunday, and I got home Saturday after a morning out, and Jenna was there, of course. I was trying to make small talk with her when I asked Ian what time he made dinner reservations for the next day. Jenna just inserted herself in the situation and asked Ian if he was gonna be out the next day, and he said yes. She started panicking, saying that he couldn't go and she wasn't ready to spend an evening alone. I was about to tell her that she could hang out at our house while we were gone, but then she looked at me in the eye and said,
Don't you have any effing friends you can go with?
I just lost it. Don't you have any other effing friends you can go bother? Jenna then called me selfish for monopolizing my husband. I had enough, and I just told her to get the F out of my house and to not come back, ever. Ian's been trying to calm things down between us, but it spiraled out of control fast, and he ended up escorting Jenna out and telling her that he'd come visit her in a few days, but that he would be backing up me, his wife, because of how she spoke to me. I was happy for his support, and I still am, but it's been a few days, and I'm starting to feel a little guilty about it all. Maybe I should have been a little bit more understanding of her, but I also feel like she should treat me more respectfully, and I don't know if I overreacted, so am I the bad apple? I can't imagine there was gonna be a lot of debate on this one. To me, I think that a lot of people will sympathize with Jenna because obviously losing someone, especially a spouse, I cannot even imagine. I don't even want to try to imagine because I'm just gonna start crying. So I think that there's gonna be some sympathy for her in the comments, but I don't think anyone would blame you for kind of snapping that this woman is getting mad at you for not only spending time with your husband in your own home, but also on your birthday. And I think it's really great that your husband has been trying to be such a supportive friend, but I think it's even better that the moment Jenna snapped at you, he was like, no, you can't talk to her that way. I'll come visit you. I still want to help you grieve. and I still want to be there for you during this process, but like you're not going to speak to my wife that way, and she says you gotta go, so you gotta go. I can't even imagine how difficult of a situation that probably was for Ian. Like obviously feeling so bad for his friend and wanting to defend his wife, and I commend him so wholeheartedly for being in that kind of position and still like, you know, no, this is my wife. Like, I'm sorry, I know that you're going through something, but I'm backing her up. And that's such a green flag to me. The fact that he's like trying to, like still being there for a friend, but in a way that is not disrespecting his wife, like, yay, Ian. We love Ian. Now, I don't know how I would have acted in that kind of situation. I know that I would have been upset. Like if I was OP, I definitely would have been really annoyed. I would have been very upset. Would I have lost my temper like that? I honestly think it could go either way. I can definitely see myself snapping and yelling the exact same kind of thing. I can also see myself holding my tongue and expecting Avery to step in a little bit. I don't know what I would have done in that moment, but regardless, I don't think that like using Jenna's words against her makes her a bad apple at all. I can't, because that would make me such a hypocrite. Because like as you guys know, when it comes to trolls in the comment section, that's like exactly what I do, is I take exactly what they type and I just kind of spin it back around to them. Like, so for me, that's my favorite kind of comeback, you know? They can't be like, oh, you're mean, or well, it's your word. I'm using you said you thought this was appropriate. What do you mean? Like, is it mean? Oh, maybe you shouldn't have said that first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's the best kind of comeback. So I'm going good apple on this. I can see an argument for crab apple, but like, don't necessarily agree with it, if that makes sense. And you are more than welcome to try and sway me in the comments, but I don't think I'm going to agree with a crab apple. So yeah. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for refusing to cover up in my own home? I'm in college and I don't like wearing a bra at home. I go to college classes and then the library, then work, and then the gym. I'm out at 7 a.m. and I usually don't get back until 10 p.m. Usually I just take a quick shower when I get home and make me a snack and just want to relax for a little bit before bedtime. On the weekends, I barely leave my apartment besides, you know, the occasional outing with friends or with colleagues, but I'm usually just a homebody. Now, my roommate and I are usually very close, but she's been biting my head off lately for not wearing a bra at home. When she first brought it up, I was so confused, but then she explained that this is about her boyfriend. I laughed in her face and told her to put a bra on his eyes instead. She got all upset and I told her that I wasn't interested in her boyfriend, like not in the slightest. And she responded back, well, he's not interested in you either. Then I said, okay, why are we arguing? It's only an issue if we were interested in each other. Just tell him the next time he sees me braless, he can pretend I'm a wall or something. According to her, it's not about being invasive, but that he felt uncomfortable. She asked, would you think it was fine if he showed me his parts? I called her stupid. Okay, this is my home. I wouldn't go braless in his home, and if he chose to go naked in his home, that's his right? She called me a jerk and just stormed off, but I don't think there's anything wrong with what I said or what I'm doing. Again, this is my house too. I had an initial thought, and now I'm kind of second guessing myself. Hear me out for a second. I'm teetering a little bit between good apple and crab apple. And here's why. And I think that you guys can definitely sway me between the two. And a lot of this might also come to the fact that like, I've always been a doormat. Like if my roommate came to me with that request, oh, of course, absolutely. So like, this could be my doormatness and like people-pleasing personality coming out. But like for me, I don't think it's unreasonable to say in the shared spaces, can we be company appropriate? Like if we have company over. Like to me, if it was her house that she owned and her roommate was like renting a room from her, that would be different in my opinion. But like this is a shared place. This is an apartment that they are both equal residents of. I don't think it's crazy to have an agreement that in shared spaces when we have company over, you know, can we be company appropriate? Now, like in her room, in her bedroom, and in places that are specifically hers, yeah, you wear whatever you want, whatever you don't want, whatever. But I don't think personally it's the most outrageous roommate request that I've ever heard. Like it also could be like I've heard some crazy roommate requests and some of them are just so outlandish that this one might not seem as big of a deal to me as it might be. So again, like, don't jump down my throat, because usually when I say something like that and people are like, how dare you, like, I'm a little nervous about that. Again, if someone asked me to do this, like, I 1000%, my personality would be, oh, I'm so sorry, let me fix that, sorry I bothered anybody. Like, that would be me in a heartbeat. So I can't tell if that's like the obvious answer or if I'm just that much of a people pleaser. So you guys let me know. For now, I'm going to go crabapple, because again, just like it's Oki's space, it's also her roommate's space. So, you know, like, when you live with people, there are compromises. You have shared areas. Like, to me, I'm just saying that to me it makes sense. But if I'm being too much of a people pleaser, y'all can let me know. I don't think it's a crazy request though. So I'm going to go crabapple for just deciding, well, I live here with you and I can do whatever I want in the shared spaces. Yeah, that's my vote. For now. Yeah. That's my vote. Crabapple. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for cutting off my father? I, 15 female, am a child of divorced parents and visit my father, 38 male, on the weekend. A few years ago, he married my stepmother, 37 female, and at first, she seemed really nice, but after they got married, things started to change. She would often make unnecessary comments about my appearance or how I smelled, and a lot of times there was nothing wrong with either, in my opinion. Her and I started getting into fights about these comments she would make, and my father never once defended me. Instead, he would just try to dumb down things that she was saying so that I could understand it. This has gone on for several years, but it's really started escalating, and it's to the point where now she's torn up parts of my sketchbook, wouldn't let me close my door and have privacy. She even locked me in my room for a whole weekend. I finally had enough, and I told my dad that if he's not gonna stand up for me, I don't want to see either of them anymore. Well, he flipped out, saying things like, I've been a great father to you, or if you would just shower before you come, we wouldn't have a problem. I shower and clean all of my clothes every single time I go over there. I don't know what the issue is. I just would rather not deal with it anymore. So, am I the bad apple for cutting them off? Okay, I want to address a slight thing before I give my opinion on the situation. And what I want to address is teenagers and hygiene. A lot of times when teenagers go through puberty, there is like new kinds of sweat and new kinds of body odor that they're just not used to dealing with. And a lot of times, because it's on them, like, they might not notice it at all. And I say this from experience because, you know, as a high school teacher, you especially see it a lot in boys. Like, like we were constantly telling kids, especially teenage boys, like, please wear deodorant, please use soap. Like, water is not going to fix the problem. You gotta use soap. And I totally understand that it can be very embarrassing and very humiliating to realize that, like, people have noticed these issues, and that can be really hard. And there can be a lot of really hard conversations that parents and teachers have to have with teenagers to make them aware of, okay, yeah, we're kind of growing up and our body is changing, so, you know, it's time to invest in some products like deodorant or, you know, different kinds of body wash, things like that. And that can be really hard. And a lot of kids can really take that personally, and it's not a fun situation for anyone. That being said, I can't tell if this is a situation where it's something like that, or if it's just stepmom being the wicked stepmother, you know? And I don't have enough information to go off on this by. We don't know if the mom notices and just hasn't said anything. We don't know if it's something that the mom hasn't experienced at all. Like, we don't know. So I'm going to operate under the impression, because, like, again, we don't try to, like, project assumptions onto these stories. We just do what we can to take the stories at face value and go for it. The problem is, I don't know which avenue to go down that's, like, the least assuming, you know what I mean? Because this is only an issue at dad and stepmom's house, I'm gonna go with mom doesn't notice a problem. Maybe I'll give 2 depending on which one, you know what I mean? So if, this is hard, I don't know which one to go with. If stepmom and dad are both noticing an issue, but mom isn't, This is so hard because I can see so many different possibilities, you know? If dad is trying to like dumb down these explanations, like, is it a deodorant issue? Like, that's where my mind is going. Like, I also always want to see the best in people, so it's very possible that stepmom's just a jerk and I'm just not seeing it. But like, if it was a big issue, why would mom not say something at the same time? Like, why would mom not, you know, or is mom like feeling uncomfortable about it and letting dad handle it? I don't know. Bottom line, okay. I think I have my head on straight. I can't decide the background situation, right? I can't decide if stepmom is a witch or if dad and stepmom are just trying to bring awareness to some changes in her body and body odor. I don't know. And I know there's gonna be people in the comments that are like, but the mom hasn't said anything. That doesn't answer my questions, because you would be surprised at how many parents I've seen teaching who feel very uncomfortable talking to their children about puberty and body odor and things like that, and like hygiene. Like, there are plenty of parents who just don't, because they are embarrassed or they don't want to embarrass their kid. So that's why I'm having a lot of trouble with this one. Regardless of what's going on in the back, I think that when it comes to anybody, you have a right to decide who is or is not in your life. And I don't think that's really something for me or anyone else to really decide for you. I think that if there are people in your life who make you feel bad about yourself, I think it is in your own right to decide who is in your life and who is not. So for that reason, without being able to really put our finger on the actual issue, I'm going to go good apple. But if more information comes up about like they're trying to help her and there really is an issue, a hygiene issue going on, I definitely would change my vote. I wouldn't necessarily say bad apple, because like, again, being an embarrassed teenager about these things is very normal. Like, it doesn't make her a bad apple. I would go maybe a little bit more towards crab apple. But for now, again, trying not to assume what's going on with the situation. Again, I always want to assume the best in people, but that might not be what's going on. So without having a concrete answer about the context, I'm gonna go good apple, that everyone has a right to determine who can or cannot be in their lives and make them feel certain types of ways about themselves. And that's my answer for now. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for ruining my daughter's birthday? My 39 female daughter very recently had her 17th birthday. My husband, 42 male, and I told her to pick out a restaurant that she'd like us to take her to for her birthday. She chose a seafood restaurant that we'd never been to. In looking over the menu online, I saw most of the dishes contained shellfish. There were a few other fish entrees as well as some surf and turf, but there were only a couple of non-seafood options. Our son, 15 male, is deathly allergic to shellfish. He also can't stand fish. There were really only a couple dishes that he could really eat. I didn't want to take him there because I knew he wouldn't really enjoy his meal, and I was also worried about cross-contamination. I told my daughter that this restaurant just wouldn't work and she'd have to pick out a different one. My son chimed in and said that he'd be fine staying home, that we could use the money that we would have spent on his meal to just order pizza for him or something. My husband also insisted that since it was our daughter's birthday, that she should be able to choose the restaurant and our son would be fine home alone with pizza and video games. But here's the thing, okay? We can only afford to go out as a family every so often. When we splurge on a restaurant meal, I want both of my children there. I insisted that she pick somewhere we could all go together, and my daughter did choose a different place, and we had a great meal together as a family. But she's still super salty that she didn't get to have her first choice of restaurants. Most people I've asked say that I'm in the wrong, but again, we can only afford to go out every so often. Is it so wrong that I wanted to do it as a family? My daughter still had a nice birthday meal. Oh, 100%. 100% the bad apple. Here's the issue. If you were just telling me that there's such a risk of cross-contamination and he was allergic and he couldn't even be in the same room as people who are having shellfish, that would be a different story. And I would also tell you that if that was the case, you needed to put those parameters on your daughter like before she made her choice. Like, hey, your birthday's coming up and I want you to pick somewhere you want to eat, but remember, your brother can't be around shellfish. That might have me a little bit more on your side, but that's not what you said. Well, he doesn't really like fish. There's only a few things there he would be able to eat. So like that focus on, well, I really want him to enjoy his meal. Well, it's not his birthday. It's your daughter's birthday. And there might be some people in the comments who are like, it's not that big of a deal. She wanted to like be with the family, wanted the family together. And like, I want to clarify this beforehand. Like, I love my parents very much, very much. I had a great childhood. I was very loved. But as a daughter whose family, like sons, I feel this story so hard. Like I just do. Like oh my God, I can feel it in my heart. Like, those who get it, get it. This isn't about your son's allergy. You just have a favorite child, okay? And that will make you the bad apple over and over and over. Like your son's even saying, I want to just stay home and eat pizza and watch video games or play video games, you know? Like go ahead, celebrate her. Why is celebrating her not enough? I totally get it. You don't get to go out to eat all the time. Is it really gonna hurt you that badly that you're just celebrating your daughter? It's okay to celebrate one child on their birthday. And the son's already made it clear, I'm not going to be upset by this. And the daughter's made it clear, I want this. And you're still making the choice to put your son's enjoyment of food above your daughter's birthday. Like, I don't see how you can't see, and everyone that you know is telling you that you're in the wrong, and you're still like, well, does it really make me that? But yes, you are favoriting, this is favoritism. You're favoriting your son. You do. And your daughter knows it. And you don't even realize that she knows it and she feels it. And I feel like that's a problem. And oh my God, I empathize with this girl. I just do. So I'm just going bad apple. You're the bad apple. Poor thing. I'll take her to go eat seafood. I love shrimp and salmon. Those are my favorites. Anyways, yep, bad apple. Even for the dad to acknowledge hey, no, we can go for our daughter. He's fine. She wants to go. We can make her feel special. And you're like, no. Girl, you can't. How are you this blind? Anyways. Oh no. Am I cursed? Oh no. I got 2 good apples, 1 bad apple, and 1 crab apple. I got the cursed votes! Dang, did not expect that today. Not in my Taylor Swift sweatshirt. It's all right, the power of the Swifties will carry me through. And the cats! At least those are the votes that I got. I would love to know if you got something similar or different or whatever you guys got. As you guys know, I really do read as much as I can down in the comments. I don't always have time or the attention span to respond to everything, but I do read a lot. And just another reminder, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured in Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. And for your well wishes today is National Unicorn Day. Oh my God, I swear, I don't look at the national days beforehand. I swear, so many times the color schemes, it just matches. Milo, stop ripping up my chair. You little nugget, come here. You can be my unicorn today? No, come back. Ugh. Anyways, here's your task. In the comments, you have to tell me what your unicorn would look like. Mine would be either pearly white or slightly pink. Like the lightest kind of pink that's almost white, but it's just a shade towards pink. Yes, that's a good unicorn color, I think. And then a champagne horn. Yes, this is good, I like this. And then maybe more of a dark pink, but more of a red dark pink mane. Yes, I like this. This is good. I like that a lot. That's my unicorn. Milo, just switch to scratching the other chair. Please stop. He wants to be a unicorn today. What does your unicorn look like? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and hope to see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.